Greetings, peace be with you. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth about dating while on semen retention. This is something that I was confused about for a long time, but by the end of this video, you're going to discover that if you currently have a girlfriend, a wife, whatever it is, how to cultivate a deep, passionate, fulfilling relationship while engaging in the process of semen retention. This is something that confused me, like I said, for a long time because I did not understand the one thing, which is that there is a difference biologically between an ejaculation and an orgasm. Okay, I'm going to explain that difference to you. But before diving into the video, a quick announcement and a favor from you. Below this video, I've linked out to a Google form. Okay, there's 2 questions. If you could take 30 seconds to answer those 2 questions, it's going to help me put together and address everything that I plan on putting together for the monk mode challenge. Okay, I don't want to say too much about it, but this is something that I'm creating for you to truly create a massive transformation in yourself, in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, right? And emotionally just reach a different level as well. So if you could click the link below this video in the description, I'll leave it out in the comments as well. Just answer those 2 questions. Is really going to help me help you as well. Okay, so when it comes to dating, first and foremost, I remember when I got started in this journey, it was because I felt like I had low self-esteem. I didn't approve of myself, and therefore there was this desire to go out there and seek approval from the opposite sex so that I could go and get a higher perceived social status in the eyes of my peers. And I went down that path, getting engaged through the process of learning cold approach pickup, where it was popularized through the book called The Game by Neil Strauss. If you haven't checked out that book, I think Neil Strauss is definitely someone who knows how to write a book that captures your attention. Like, I remember I couldn't put it down. I read it when I was like 17 years old, and I was like so enchanted with this whole new space of actually learning the art of seduction through practice, through going out like a game. And that was very exciting for me at the point. And the fact is that it's great to know what is going on the level of male sexual dynamics, right? Just social dynamics in general, right? There's actually a company called Real Social Dynamics, and I learned a lot from them as well. And it really, at the end of the day, for me, became an avenue to seek validation. Okay, I would go down the path of seeking validation and learning through having an awareness of particular factors such as body language, such as vocal tonality, such as man to woman interaction, right? What actually makes a woman attracted at the end of the day is polarity, right? It's like man to woman interaction. It's like if you two were in a room alone right now, then something would probably go down if the interaction has been set on the foundation of polarity, right? So what does that even mean? It means that you are pure in your intentions, right? It's not like you're thinking one thing and then doing another and then saying another, right? And this is like a fundamental quote that applies everywhere, which I've used on this channel again and again and again. It's like when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony, then you will find inner peace, right? Gandhi said that. And it's really about that at the end of the day, because I remember in my path of actually, developing this comfortability with actually interacting with random people. Like, I remember I used to be shy, I used to be introverted, just putting myself out there, right? It was the thrill. And eventually getting an awareness of what actually constitutes an interaction, right? So that's obviously something that helps out a lot. But the point I'm striving to get across right now is that it happens when you have self-respect. Okay, at the end of the day, like, I was trying to get validation, but that was something that led to toxic relationships. Okay, it was like when 2 people are coming together in that toxic exchange, when 2 people are trying to get something from each other, then it ends up being chaos, right? And it doesn't serve anyone because that energy exchange is not exactly harmonious either, right? So where does semen retention come into this? I've gone on a whole different tangent over here. But when I actually, began developing self-esteem and having respect for myself, I remember I went down the journey of nofap as well, and I was like, okay, like, I have to seek this validation from within. I can't keep going down this path of like, just going out every single day, literally every single day, every single morning, approaching people on the street, going out every single night. Like, all my friends were doing that as well. And for a long part of that journey, I was seeking validation, and it came down to the point is because I'm going to share this with you, but it goes weird because when you look back at your own shadows, like, why do you do what you do? For me, I was doing that because when I had an experience and I looked back at my own inner child that was unhealed, that didn't get love from his mom, was still on the path of trying to get love from the opposite sex, trying to make up for it, right? But that is an never-ending hamster loop, right? Once you realize that the hole that you feel inside can only be filled from the inside, right? That is the pivotal moment where you realize, okay, like the only thing that matters is what I think about myself. And if I live up to my values, if my word is in alignment with my action, right? That's self-esteem. Like when you make commitments and you keep commitments to yourself, that is the only thing that matters, right? So, of course, getting started on the NoFap journey was part of my recovery from that, because there's a whole different side of getting addicted to pixels on a screen as well. And that's a story for a totally different day. But what was in my awareness at the point of starting in this journey is like, yo, I have to like stay away from this. I have to practice NoFap. I have to cultivate my energies, right? So I can do what I'm here to do. But that is because I didn't know that there's a biological difference between ejaculation and orgasm. And because I was on the NoFap journey, I was resisting it so much. There was so much pent up energy, right? Whatever you resist persists. Like pushing myself, my energy was getting trapped in the sacral chakra. I was very emotional, right? The energy is getting trapped. I made a different video on this as well. The primary danger of NoFap and semen retention is that the energy gets trapped in the lower chakras and no energy is left to actually channeled up towards more vision, right? So where am I going with this? I'm saying that you can practice the powerful art / science of semen retention while cultivating a deep, passionate, loving relationship with a partner, wife, girlfriend, right? And the way to do this is by becoming a practitioner of the science / art of sexual kung fu. Okay, if you want to learn more about this, Mantak Chia has a bunch of content. I think he's written more than 20 books. He's not ancient, but he's a Taoist master, right? And he is someone who brought to my awareness of this whole separate side of going down the path of becoming multi-orgasmic, of the difference between an ejaculatory orgasm and a whole body orgasm that builds upon itself, and you can have multiple male orgasms and really begin to channel that energy, the masculine, through your masculine and feminine poles, and have that harmony within you and experience that transcendence and really tap into that higher state of consciousness, right? That is what's possible. But of course, it starts with cultivating that energy for yourself, right? For me, like, I had to practice the art of solo cultivation, whereby I was at a previous point in my journey, stuck in the cycle of self-pity, of self-discrimination, like making decisions that don't serve me, that don't serve the people around me. And that's because I was hurting from the inside and I was seeking to fill those emotional gaps from materialism. But that just led me down the path of just constantly needing more and more and more, right? And once I realized that I could actually begin to, make love to myself at the end of the day, that is when I began to actually develop an awareness of my own sexual energies, right? My own sexual sensitivities, so that I can actually draw that distinction, which is it's like a fine hair, right? Like a hair in between orgasm, like the precipice of ejaculation is where you can actually catch yourself and you can begin to practice. I have a bunch of other videos on the exercises you can do as well. Once you get there, and you really begin to channel that energy upwards, that is when the magic really begins to happen. And I'm not saying it happens overnight. Like I said, Mantak Chia has written more than 20 books on this topic. So if it was simple, I would have explained it in an 8-minute video for sure. But it's something that you will have to dive deeper into for yourself as well. And just, there's a bunch of content on this channel. But once you have an awareness of that one thing, that there is a difference, right? Then you can be someone who cultivates their energy to a way higher extent, because you're not letting it go outside of you, right? You can experience that. It takes time, it takes practice, right? And even as you are practicing, you will end up busting a nut. People are like, yo, how long haven't you busted a nut? I'm like, yo, I've been practicing. It's like the awareness is not there to truly explain what it means to make love to yourself. It's something you have to experience, right? It's just like, it's you, and you don't need anything outside of you. And that is when two people come in together to an interaction, into a relationship where they don't need anything from each other. You have synergy. The sum is greater than its parts. And that is when you can stop thinking about how many days your streak is on, or how to attract women, because then you are authentically yourself, right? When you're attracting someone through the lens of authentically being yourself, right? Having your intentions that are pure, then if you get rejected, that's a good thing, because you know that the energy exchange is not there. But if you have to put up a front, like learning some lines, or learning some games, or like some strategy that takes you step by step through one stage of the interaction to the next, rather than it taking place holistically, where it's just the flow and you're in the rhythm and you're feeling it, right? So just my 2 cents, because someone asked me the other day, like, yo, leave some advice about dating. I was like, are you sure you want dating advice from a monk? Because I've personally been celibate for 1 year, but it's because there is an intention, there's a purpose, and it's just the way that things are playing out right now. But I also know that when you have someone with you who is on that similar frequency that you're able to cultivate that relationship with, then you can begin vibrating at a way higher frequency. Okay, understand that, because even Napoleon Hill talks about this in a bunch of his different texts, right? He's written so many. It's not just Think and Grow Rich and Outrunning the Devil. There are others as well, but sexual transmutation and how we can actually collaborate in that mastermind, right? The most powerful mastermind you can create is with someone who is there, and really you are vibrating at the same frequency, at the same wavelength, and you create something that you would never be able to create on your own, because these two energies come together, and then it's like, the other aspect of it is a brand new life, a kid, right? You can create that, or you can just create something else, right? It depends where you use that energy, and the choice is in your hands at the end of the day, like it always is. Okay, so with that, I conclude this video. I hope you got some awareness around how I think about this stuff, right? I can make more videos on these topics. If you want, just leave a comment below letting me know your number one takeaway in this video, and if you could really take a few seconds, like 30 seconds, to answer these 2 questions below. I've linked them out below, and if you answered the ones that I linked out on the previous video, really appreciate that. But if you could answer these as well, these go a bit deeper, and these are a bit more, they have more depth, let's just say. They go deeper, right? So if you could answer them as well, even if you answered the ones yesterday, that would be amazing. But with that, I conclude this video. I hope that you got value from it. I hope that you implement this stuff, and I hope that you are continuing to level up in your life. Okay, so this has been Mo. Much love to you. Take care.